Hello everyone, and welcome back to Shabenverse. Today we have an important crypto story connected to the Trump family and the growing relationship between cryptocurrency and the traditional financial system. The headline is, a crypto bank tied to Donald Trump's crypto business has received preliminary approval from the U.S. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, also known as the OCC. But what exactly does this approval mean? Does it mean Trump's crypto company is now officially a bank? What does this mean for one United States dollar, the stablecoin connected to World Liberty Financial? And could this development have a wider impact on the crypto industry? Let's break everything down in simple language. What happened? The U.S. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has given preliminary, conditional approval for a national trust bank connected to World Liberty Financial. World Liberty Financial is a crypto and financial project associated with the Trump family. The proposed bank is known as World Liberty Trust. Now there is one very important point that everyone needs to understand. This is not yet a final banking approval. The company still has to meet additional regulatory requirements before it can receive final approval and begin operating under the terms of its charter. So this is an important step, but the process is not finished yet. Why is this important? This development is significant because it could bring a Trump-linked crypto company closer to the U.S. regulated financial system. For years, cryptocurrency companies have been trying to establish relationships with traditional banks and financial institutions. Regulation has been one of the biggest issues in the crypto industry. Companies want clear rules, investors want more transparency, and regulators want to make sure that financial institutions follow strict requirements. If World Liberty Trust eventually receives final approval, it could become another example of a crypto-focused business operating within the U.S. federal regulatory framework. What about one United States dollar? Now let's talk about one United States dollar. One United States dollar is a stablecoin connected to World Liberty Financial. Unlike Bitcoin, which can experience large price movements, a stablecoin is designed to maintain a relatively stable value, usually by being linked to an asset such as the US dollar. The goal of one United States dollar is basically to remain close to one US dollar. So investors should not look at one United States dollar like a normal cryptocurrency and expect its price to suddenly rise from $1 to $10 or $20. That is not what a stablecoin is designed to do. Instead, the important questions are, how widely will one United States dollar be used? How much trust will users have in it? How transparent are its reserves? And how much adoption can it achieve? Why could the bank help one United States dollar? A regulated banking structure could potentially give World Liberty Financial a stronger position when dealing with digital assets and stablecoin-related activities. One of the biggest concerns in the stablecoin market is trust. People want to know where the money backing a stablecoin is held. They want to know who controls those assets. And they want to know whether regulators are monitoring the organization responsible for the stablecoin. A regulated trust bank could potentially strengthen the institutional framework around World Liberty Financial's operations. However, we should not assume that regulatory approval automatically means one United States dollar will become the next major stablecoin. Adoption will still depend on users, businesses, exchanges, institutions, liquidity, and the broader regulatory environment. Is this a traditional bank? This is another important point. The term bank can sometimes create confusion. World Liberty Trust would not necessarily operate like your normal local bank. That means you should not assume that you will simply walk into a branch, open a regular checking account, and apply for a traditional home or personal loan. The proposed structure is much more focused on trust and digital asset-related activities. The exact activities the institution can conduct will depend on its final authorization and regulatory conditions. So once again, the preliminary approval does not mean that the company can immediately operate like a full-service commercial bank. Why is this important for the crypto industry? This development comes at a time when the crypto industry is becoming increasingly connected to traditional finance. Over the past few years, we have seen major financial institutions become more involved in digital assets. Bitcoin ETFs have brought cryptocurrency exposure to traditional investors. Tokenized assets are becoming a major topic in financial markets. Stablecoins are being discussed as potential tools for payments and global money transfers. And now, crypto companies are increasingly trying to operate within regulated financial structures. If World Liberty Trust successfully moves through the remaining regulatory process, it could become another example of this trend. What does this mean for Trump? The development is also politically interesting because World Liberty Financial is connected to the Trump family. Donald Trump has become closely associated with the crypto industry, and his family has been involved in several crypto-related projects. Because of this connection, every major development involving World Liberty Financial receives significant attention. Supporters may see the bank approval as evidence that crypto businesses can become part of the mainstream financial system. Critics, however, may raise questions about potential conflicts of interest and the relationship between political power and private crypto businesses. That debate is likely to continue. Could this be bullish for crypto? Potentially, yes, but we need to be careful. One bank approval does not automatically mean Bitcoin or altcoins will go up. The bigger story is about institutional adoption and regulatory acceptance. If more crypto companies receive regulatory approval to operate within the traditional financial system, it could make it easier for institutions to use blockchain technology and digital assets. That could be positive for the broader industry over the long term. But crypto markets are extremely unpredictable. Prices can still move because of interest rates, regulation, liquidity, economic data, geopolitical events, and investor sentiment. So, this news should not be treated as a guaranteed price signal. What should investors watch next? There are several things worth watching from here. First, we need to see whether World Liberty Trust eventually receives final approval. Second, we need to see exactly what activities the bank will be permitted to conduct. Third, investors will likely watch the growth and adoption of one United States dollar. And fourth, the broader U.S. regulatory environment for stablecoins and digital assets will remain extremely important. If regulations become clearer and institutional adoption continues, companies operating in this space could have more opportunities. But if regulatory requirements become stricter, crypto companies may face additional challenges. The bigger picture. The bigger story here is not simply about Trump. It is about the changing relationship between cryptocurrency and traditional finance. For years, crypto was often viewed as an alternative financial system operating outside traditional banking. Now the industry is moving in a different direction. Crypto companies are seeking licenses. Banks are exploring blockchain technology. Financial institutions are offering digital asset products, and stablecoins are becoming an increasingly important part of the conversation about digital payments. This means the line between traditional finance and cryptocurrency could continue to become smaller, and that could have a major impact on the financial industry over the next several years. Final thoughts. So let's quickly summarize today's story. A crypto bank connected to World Liberty Financial, the Trump-linked crypto project, has received preliminary conditional approval from the US OCC. This is an important regulatory step, but it is not the final approval. The proposed institution, World Liberty Trust, could focus on trust and digital asset-related activities under federal oversight. The development could also be important for one United States dollar, the stablecoin associated with World Liberty Financial. However, investors should remember that approval does not guarantee adoption, success, or higher cryptocurrency prices. The next major milestone will be seeing whether the institution receives final authorization. And if that happens, it could become another major example of cryptocurrency moving deeper into the regulated financial system. What do you think about this development? Do you think World Liberty Financial could become a major player in the crypto industry? Let me know your opinion in the comments. If you enjoyed this update, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Shabanverse, and turn on notifications for more crypto news and simple market updates. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Stay informed, stay safe, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.